How do you force a component to call its ngOnDestroy lifecycle hook when you're leaving a page? Stay tuned to find out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alex from NativeScripting.com, where I have courses on NativeScript. We have advanced courses and we have intermediate courses and basic courses that are free as well. Come check it out. And if you want to learn more about NativeScript here, make sure you subscribe to this channel and click the little bell so you don't miss anything. All right, so in NativeScript with Angular, top-level components that you navigate between are placed on a stack, and these are kept in memory. This is actually useful for performance when you're navigating back and forth between components and you don't want to recreate the components. But if you have a really big, intensive memory hogging component that's taking up memory, you can force the ngOnDestroy lifecycle hook to be called. And you can do this by leveraging the host pages lifecycle. Think about it this way. You have a page, which is in all NativeScript applications, Core, Vue, and Angular. And then for NativeScript Angular applications, you have a component. And a component lives inside the page. The page has its own lifecycle hooks, and the component has its own lifecycle hooks. So now we're going to have the interaction, and we're going to see this in this video. Let's do this. I've just created a brand new NativeScript Angular application, and you might be already familiar with this. We have a list of football players here, and I can navigate between the list page and the details page just by tapping on one of these. Now, in NativeScript, we have a concept of pages. Pages are what hosts our components, our Angular components. So right here we have one page, and this page hosts the Angular list component. That's the items component. So let's take a look at the code real quick here. We have our root app component, and then we have our items component here. So this is the one that shows our list of items. And if I navigate to the details page, this is another component. So when we navigate, we're not only triggering the Angular lifecycle events for our components, we're also triggering the lifecycle events for our NativeScript pages. That's something to keep in mind also, that you might not be aware of if you're just coming from Angular world and you don't know how NativeScript works. Let's demonstrate this with a very common scenario. And this is a scenario where we need to clean up after ourselves. We need to use the ngOnDestroy function to destroy our subscriptions or clean up subscriptions for RxJS observables and so on. So here I'm going to go to my items component and I'm going to add the ngOnDestroy lifecycle hook handler here. Notice I didn't implement the onDestroy interface. I could do that like that, just to be more clear about what's going on here. So here's ngOnDestroy, and inside here I'm going to do console.log items destroyed. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to navigate here, and well, what happened? We don't actually get a console log message here that's saying that our component was destroyed. And that's because our component is not actually destroyed when we're navigating like this. Our component is on a stack in NativeScript, and when we're navigating back and forth, we're just popping things off the stack. What if I wanted to force destroy the component when the page is unloaded? Well, I can do that with something called a host listener. This is an Angular concept. Host listener is imported from Angular core, and now we just need to specify what event we want to listen to on the host. The host of this component is the page. So in NativeScript, we have several lifecycle hooks for the page itself. Loaded is one of them. Unloaded is another one. So when the page is unloaded, we can specify that we want to trigger this ngOnDestroyed. Let's take a look at that. Our app is going to restart. I'm going to tap on one of these. The page is going to be unloaded, and now we've forced that component to destroy itself. So if we have some intense Angular components that are going to have high memory usage, we'd want to clean up, and we can do that by forcing the destroy to be called. Or if you're leaving a page that you know you're not going to come back to, you can also force that destruction of the page to happen by using the host listener decorator as we did here and listening for the unloaded event of the page. All right, now be honest here. Do you clean up your components using the ngOnDestroy lifecycle hook? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Digitalex over there. And make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to get the latest NativeScript tricks, tips, and tutorials, as I post them here pretty often these days. I will see you next time.